evening and welcome back. Start off, congratulations to Liverpool as the Champions League. Obviously I'm in Manchester now, so I will say that through gritted teeth. But anyway, yes, well done Liverpool in Madrid. Congratulations to you guys who are enjoying your time, except for that one guy who's now lost in Madrid. They can't find him. But anyway, before we get started, if you want to help the channel out, then do like, comment, share it around. That really helps YouTube say, hey, this video is worth watching because people are watching it through direct links. Share it around. Whoever you think's interested, please do send it to help the channel. So, from the BBC News, Glastonbury 2019, bands who called for Tories to be killed booked to perform. This is, again, escalation of violence and acceptance when it's pointed against right-wingers, but also, and I'm interested to see what you think about it, is, well, should incitement to violence be legal? Because after all, it is just speech and people have their own agency. And if it is said as part of art, then should that be okay? Because if you have a setting of a film or a movie and you have one of the characters inciting somebody else to violence against a group that may very well exist in real life, then they are just portrayed as the evil person, and that's okay. So in that case, if it's just art, is that then okay because it is not reality? Seeing as these people haven't been prosecuted, it seems like that is the stance that British police are taking. So here we have two bands who have called for members of the Conservative Party to be killed are to perform at Glastonbury Festival 2019, and as of yet, and this is why I waited so long, Glastonbury, that I can see, they have not yet replied for comment about why they have invited these bands. So, we've got Fat White Family and Kildren. One of Kildren's best known songs is called Kill Tory Scum, while Fat White Family have called for violence against Conservatives on social media. I'm going to be using BBC News as well as the Daily Star, who are referencing Mail Online, because there is then more information, even if you don't find them as reputable. So, the Joe Cox Foundation said the language was completely abhorrent, and it is worth noting that Joe Cox's widower did speak out when Nigel Farage was milkshake to say, hey, I also disagree with him, but we shouldn't accept any sort of violence for political means against anyone. We're seeing a legitimising and normalising of harmful words and actions, it said. Yes, so it goes along with the same track of thought. Children, who are a two-bit rave punk band and claim to form the ideal soundtrack to the worst generation history, will play at Glastonbury's Shanghai Hill International TV stage on Friday 28th of June, so it's nihilism in a nutshell. Their lyrics include, even if it's your dad or your mum, kill Tory scum, murder them all to the beat of a drum, kill Tory scum, kill Tory scum. If you say scum just means person, then Tory is just anyone who's conservative. It sounds like incitement to violence to me. The band also played a graphic set at Boomtown Fair 2018 in which they kicked, punched and spat at a man dressed in a suit while wearing Kill Tory Scum clothing. It was first reported by the Sunday Times. When asked about the song, the band told the paper the piece would not exist if the destructive and violent policies of the Tory party hadn't taken such a devastating toll on the UK. So it is essentially to say, hey, we're being provoked, we're only responding in kind. And they say that the Tory party policies are violent. I haven't seen them singling people out like a Maoist show trial, but nonetheless, that's their interpretation, but it's not based in reality. The band's YouTube page claims the song is satirical discourse, so if it's all a joke, is that then okay? Also due to perform at the festival is the second band, Fat White Family, who previously played at Glastonbury's Park Stage in 2015. Its song's topics include abusive relationships, serial killers, and addiction to Class A drugs. Fair enough, especially abusive relationships, Class A drugs. It's worth having the conversation about them. Bring them to light, and jokes are humour, a good way to do that. The court jester is the only one that can tell the truth, that kind of thing. In a 2015 tweet, the punk rock band from South East London said anyone who voted for Tory had blood on their hands and called for them to be executed. Well, this just seems to be a tweet and not part of their art, and a year earlier they said Tories should be hanged. So, Catherine Anderson, Chief Executive of the Joe Cox Foundation, said the language was completely abhorrent and told the BBC the direct incitement of violence and abuse on any platform and in any sector is wrong and something that we should absolutely reject. We're seeing a legitimising and normalising of harmful words and actions. I think an important distinction there is to be made between harmful words and harmful actions, but fine. And this is leading to a decay in our shared language and ultimately our values, and that concerns us very much. Yes, when I think Carl Benjamin Sargon the Cad mentioned this, when freedom of speech is mentioned, it's like, oh, but that doesn't mean freedom from consequences. It's like, well, yes, but the left seem to think social and the right seem to mean legal. But as far as social is concerned, well, then you don't have to follow what these people do, and you can leave them out to rot or whatever it is that you wish to happen to them. But responding to it with violence is then changing it from a verbal altercation to a physical altercation, as Stephen Crowder would say. And that's stepping over the line and does incur legal infractions. We kind of think what happened to Joe, after whose murder we believe things would improve. Instead, things got a lot worse. It added, well, YouTube is, and then YouTube said, YouTube is a platform for free and creative expression. We strictly prohibit videos that are abusive or that promote violence. Well, no, because there was a while ago that black rapper of whose name I've forgotten, if I've ever learned it in the first place, where his music video showed a child being lynched, as in noose put around the neck and slowly lifted off the ground. And YouTube added, all videos uploaded to YouTube must comply with our community guidelines, and we enforce these policies carefully. Not completely, but carefully. Which means they decide who they want to say, oh, these are, you're infringing our policies and you aren't. It's like one of those things where you're in a community or culture, or whatever, company culture kind of thing, and people are banting words around, and you get involved and everybody's enjoying it, and then afterwards they say, oh yes, you stepped over the mark. So, but I was like going along with what these other people were saying. It's like, oh, well, that doesn't matter, because if you look at what the rules say, you've broken the rules. It's like, well, these people have as well. It's like, we're not talking about them, it's about you. It's like, what? So you kind of baited me into it by me thinking, oh, well, it's okay, these rules aren't really serious and I can join in. It's like anti-blasphemy laws that have existed in the UK for a while, and they're brought up every now and then. And it's like, oh, these old laws, they're not enforced, so it's fine. So people get on with their lives and might break those laws every now and then because they may not even realise it's a law, or they don't think it's ever going to be enforced, and it's just one that's been forgotten about, and that people just haven't got around to reforming them and removing them. But then when the government wants to get someone on some sort of technicality, they use one of these old, archaic, outdated laws and pin it on them to the fullest extent of the law, and then try and use that to rile them up to then do something worse that they can then say, oh, and they also did this. So that's why I always say be careful with what you say and what you do, but it also ties into what Jocko Willink says, that a good leader, I think it's taken from Machiavelli as well, a good leader should never make a command or give an order that he knows won't be followed, or he or she knows won't be followed, because then it means then that the leader's authority is lessened, and whenever there's an order that should be followed, it isn't taken as seriously. And he also likened it to a dog barking, that if you had a dog that just suddenly bit into and maybe even severed a limb, no, just a finger and arm, whatever, you think, well, that's a rabid dog, we're gonna have to be careful, maybe even put it down, especially if it's like your child. But if there's a dog and you're teasing and it barks at you, then it growls, then it bares its teeth, then it finally attacks you and saying, oh yeah, fair enough, I kind of overstepped the mark there. It's understandable. And just as an aside, if you have your own values and don't like people overstepping the mark, do know what your values are, and so when people slowly tread towards the edge and try and step over it to see how far they can push you, and you kind of allow it because it's a foot in the door theory, and it's just gradual desensitization. Do know your boundaries, so as soon as they do that, you say, yeah, no. It's much easier when people go fully over the line straight away from nothing, like 0 to 100 in a second. But when people are slow to tread over that line, they can easily take advantage of you. So do know your values, think them through, and do enforce them. So the other thing to add, which was for what I found on the Daily Star, was, according to Mail Online, an now deleted post on Killjohn's Facebook page showed controversial Conservative MP Jacob Rees Mogg. I didn't really see it was controversial. I know he's had water thrown on him recently. It's not as if there's an election coming up, but maybe they're thinking, oh, he's going to go for the Tory leadership bid. He hasn't said that. In fact, he said the opposite. So what are you talking about? And his children alongside a caption calling for them to be killed. They told the Times people criticising their stance, saying, leave the kids alone. They added, okay, what about fucking kids relying on food banks for dinner over some holidays, or being bombed in Yemen by British-made bombs? So it isn't take personal responsibility and maybe only start a family when you're ready for it. Okay, so people can fall in hard times, yes, understood. But if that was the case, then there wouldn't be such a strain on the system. And the band said yesterday the comments about Rees Mogg's children had been posted by someone else. So they did defend them, but then said they were posted by someone else. That's a cop-out, isn't it? It's like when you... It's like in high school, when you text a girl and say, oh yeah, I really like you, we should go out. And they say, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't feel that way at all. I go, sorry, my brother took my phone, oh lol. It's that kind of thing. They're supposed to by someone else. But the group say its work is cartoonish and over the top and a counterpoint to the circus of UK politics. So they're taking in the clown world as well. But, as always, what do you guys think? Am I wrong? As I read, I would say. Do you think it's okay because it is art and it is a joke, and therefore incitement to violence is okay in certain circumstances, including this? Or should they be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, given that it is incitement to violence, which is not covered by freedom of speech by most people, other than free speech extremists, as redundant and almost paradoxical as that statement seems. And it's like, yes, I'm an extremist. It's like, oh my god, what are you going to do? Let everybody say whatever they want. So what are you enforcing? Nothing. What? Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's it for now. As I say earlier, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.